Burmese Ghouls, understandable. Matilda also understandable ban here, but that just opens up so many picks here. Esmeralda, Brody as well.
What, Natalia, one of them's coming through.
Exactly.
One of them's coming through, and do note, RQ Hoshi not wasting any more time. Game number 3, they were a little conservative. Like last ban was the Diggy. This time it's like first ban Diggy. Your move.
I just have to say that Burmese Ghouls didn't ban the Brody, didn't ban any of the, let's say, huge meta heroes right now, aside from the Benedetta and the Matilda. But for RQ Hoshi, they're pretty confident with this. I don't think they'll ban anything meta or anything that is really strong right now, just because Burmese Ghouls might get that. But still, they know that they will get 2 of those picks and they will get a better trade out of that.
Okay, now we do have a little bit of a question here because they open up the Brody, like you said. So, is there a true way to just make sure this Brody does not come online?
Potentially Natalia. And I say potentially this with a little pinch of salt because there still are really reliable things to deal with Natalia. Jawhead is a great example. His unstoppable force with smart missiles, just a great way to just completely shut it down. But the Burmese Ghouls have to make the choice, and they're going to go with all reliable Lapu Lapu, denying Lemon the pick.
But RQ Hoshi has access to the Brody, the Jawhead, and the Esmeralda.
Ooh, but no, they ignore the Natalia, they ignore the Jawhead, they go for the Brody, which I believe is going to be a debut in the playoffs.
Yeah, and Burmese Ghouls, they have the opportunity to go for the Natalia.
Oh boy.
Is it worth it at this point? Is it really worth going for the Natalia, considering that RQ have both locked in the Esmeralda and the Brody, both of which a little bit of a struggle to catch in most situations, and the Yishin Shin has been showing up, so you can see that even the Burmese Ghouls are straying away from the Natalia, saying, hey, at the very least, we have an early game hero like Loi, and we have the Mountain Trucker just to reveal your position.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's all too wordy, but what I can tell you is this, that at the very least, the response come pretty much in great cycle for the side of Burmese Ghouls with the pickup of the Loi. So no more diversion plans, and Mountain Shocker is something that we've been expecting coming out from Burmese Ghouls side, just to get as much vital info for those fights.
Yeah, Vin was pretty good on the Loi earlier. I'm guessing Burmese Ghouls want to invest in a good tank as well after the bans, because that's what made the whole Vin and Psycho connection from game number 3. There's so many catch. And right now, RQ Hoshi field, prior to the playoffs, what was looked at as the best tank in the game before Sylvana started taking over and Jawhead. That's the Akai for RQ Hoshi before we run out of tanks. Now, second phase of banning, that's Atlas. Oh, they're going to choke out all the tanks, all the good tanks.
Yeah, RQ Hoshi, they do have the Brody on their side, so an Atlas is a big no-no. Burmese Ghouls, what are they planning to ban out right now? In terms of Burmese Ghouls, they lack a tank and another side lane.
Yeah, and the side lane is interesting because they don't have the Yutong anymore. And more importantly, the Cho, is R7 going to opt to go for the Cho at this point in time, or is Burmese Ghouls going to ban it out?
Yeah, and we've seen them actually go for Grox much earlier, like way earlier, but I don't think that it's really the best alternative when it comes down to, you know, drawing a pick from a very small bag.
I have this feeling that this could be a side lane Brody and they can just pick another assassin.
Assassin. So yeah, speaking of assassins right here, so well, do talk us through, because we got like things like Hayabusa, which we see from time to time. Early on being picked by the side of, you know, Brand Esports, there was things like the Lance as well. So I'm not sure if Burmese Ghouls is honestly very adaptable to that.
Oh yeah, there's one big assassin, Ling. So Burmese Ghouls, their second phase of banning was a little here and there. They were attacking specific things, like one, R7 was amazing on the Cho. Second is maybe we can choke out. But I have a half a mind that it might be the Brody in the jungle as well. It's possible. Oh, hold up! Shades of the Hyper Bruno. This might be it. This might be just another version of it.
I suppose, but it's tough to say. Again, a lot of their heroes aren't very early game oriented. Besides, you know, the Brody and then Burmese Ghouls, they lock in the Allison themselves, saying, okay, whatever you want to play in the side lane, I'm just going to scale up and just continue wave pushing no matter how hard you push.
No, that's what the Rafael is for. It's what speeds it up. That's what makes the mid and the late game come in sooner, especially if you're snowballing. So I think Brody is just an all-around better choice than the Bruno.
More reliable choice.
Yeah. More painful in the early game. Woo!
Oh.
Burmese Ghouls, who are they gonna go for? They need a tank or a tank figure here for their side, and it is going to be a Baksha.
This definitely slipped our mind. Like, this is definitely something that they could still actually make good use of. But, I mean, somebody's got to get all the way back.
Yeah, Todak used a lot of Baksha. And these two teams don't really go for this Baksha usually. But for the side of Burmese Ghouls, it made all the sense in the world just because there's an Esmeralda, you can catch out the Brody, you can negate some of the healing by the Rafaela, so it makes a lot of sense.
And not to mention that it's also a pretty, I mean, the Twice Poissons is always going to be relevant against Alice and Lapu Lapu. So just anti-healing, taking away another pick, and RQ just going to say, all right, fine, it looks like I got to dominate this lane.
I like it. Vin can just swap between Albert and Lemon, who he wants to go hyper with. But it looks fragile. I gotta say, it looks fragile, but if it works, whoo, you got the early, mid, late, just marksman just running around. It's a high risk, high reward lineup.
Okay, so right now, I think there's a chance that Lemon might play the 1-1. So at early game, it's going to be Brody and the Rafaela, just giving that what do you call this? Brody the certain push to actually just have a certain advantage in terms of healing and the movement speed. But at the late game, it could be a Lemon aid. It will aid Lemon. It's a Lemon aid.
Butters, I give it a 2 out of 10. It's been a long day.
I mean, you guys just didn't
It's
get
been
it.
a long day. All right.
Tough crowd here at the cast.
I mean, I tried my best, but I hope you guys
for effort.
try your best as well as you will cast the game for this series. Game number 4. Take it away, guys. I give up.
Obviously, game 4 brain on Butters. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it on. One more game till we say it's the final one for this semifinals round. Burmese Ghouls versus RRQ Hoshi.
Let's see how they play this out here. Now, RRQ are going to be looking to control this mid game as much as possible with the rest of BG. Are you still thinking about it?
I'm good. It's
A little
go
bit.
time. It's
Honestly,
go time.
a little bit.
It's
Go on,
time.
Butters. Like, we just can't get it off our heads, and for the side of BG, they gotta find a way to get in the heads of RRQ, starting it off by taking down Lemon.
A huge pick off here, and that's why, you know, the Baksha can be a very annoying pick because, again, it rotates so fast and you don't exactly have a lot of time to react to it overall. And not to mention, with the added, you know, chain CC coming in from Ruby DD, it just helps it speed it up some more.
I like that first blood. I mean, it's good for Burmese Ghouls because they're cheesing out. Nice steal by RRQ. This is smart. This is smart. And are they baiting out their second core? Are they baiting out their second core just for the steal? I don't think so. In goes Ruby DD. Oh, they missed out. Lemon out, playing them. Haul up. You're going to pay, says Ace. 2 for 1 so far. They do have the purple, I think, but they lost out on the orange. They trade out Ruby DD. I call it a wash.
I mean, not gonna lie, Ruby DD kind of trolled there, especially when Yi Shin was coming up there. But more importantly, maybe actually took the execute. I thought he was gonna take a rejuvenate, and that's why he just popped him straight away at level 1.
Ooh, I like the execute choice. This is a lethal Baksha coming in, making sure that everything he starts, he finishes.
Yeah, just like what he did on the Grok in the sort of way, you know, gotta play it a little bit more offensively, but I just missed a little bit of a glimpse of that. Yeah, pretend I didn't see that.
All right, but for now, the Turtle is back up, and this has been a high contestation point for a lot of these teams. How is Burmese Ghouls, especially with a lineup like this, very standard overall, going to deal with RRQ as R7 getting a pretty good lead onto D here, but this is going to be the 1v1 of a lifetime. He has to dodge a lot of these abilities when he transforms into that big broadsword. He's got to be a lot more careful.
Nice Cyclone Eye steal here by Kid. And I guess Burmese Ghouls is just of the mind of, you took our orange, let us take most of the things in your jungle that we can take safely right now. Starting up this turtle, nice vision being set in here by Ace. Mountain Shocker. Oh, they know that all 4 or 5 are here.
Oh, they will be able to get the turtle, though. Psycho's chasing right in for a Kid, but you can definitely see maybe he's dropping really low. The rest of RRQ, they're focusing their attention on towards D. If I can call, and oh my goodness, look at the damage coming out of Albert as they will be securing 2. But in exchange, of course, a little bit of it back and forth, but still looking pretty hot coming from RRQ.
Ooh, maybe here with the concussive blast dealing a little bit more damage, and Ace can't finish the job. Maybe his execute is off of cooldown. Interesting how they didn't get anything out of that.
I mean, again, execute works in a very particular. Oh, R7.
Oh!
He was willing to trade. He wanted to go for the double kill, and now Psycho has to sit under the turret to protect the 1,000-pounder out of there. And now, I mean, 2-for-1 trade. Regardless, RRQ very happy with the situation, but now D wants to get the kill. Ah, no! No!
Oh man, this is a full-blown Rumble Royale in this such a way, and you can definitely see up top, it's gonna be Lemon. It's gonna be having the Aegis for himself, and Albert has arrived and torn him apart. All memories all washed up.
I mean, if they give it enough time, Burmese Ghouls is going to slowly fall off, especially when in the likes of having Brody and Wan in that position. However, I will say that Burmese Ghouls have a lot of utility in their composition.
Oh yeah, for sure. Psycho here gonna go ahead and retreat. Close one. That's gonna be a takedown by Ace underneath their own turret. I wonder where the trade-off's gonna happen. Yeah, RRQ Hoshi going for that top lane. Both marksmen getting quite a chunk of damage in. The first to take it down. Open artery in mid. Vin from the back lines. Nice jump in by R7. Maybe steals. The Cyclone Eye bumps right in to Vin.
That was really dangerous here. You can definitely see Vin, although he's low, he's trying to pull it back, and it's gonna be it. R7 will be able to find that pickup here, and D running for his life. He's trying to turn this one around, but how long can he just survive as R7 goes in for another? It's a 4-1 on R7's side.
I'm so very confused here. I mean, maybe he decides to turn around with the Cyclone Eye, but again, what was the Burmese Ghouls trying to do? Were they trying to buy a lot of time so that you could get the push and break the shield off down bot lane, or were they trying to go for the invade and steal away a couple of camps? Not entirely sure, but they didn't get that return of investment that I was looking for.
Yeah, if anything, that was a masterful outplay, a team fight orchestrated over the span of what, 20-30 seconds by RQ Hoshi. They won overall. They won. That was their call.
Oh, RubyDD getting a good hit onto Lemon, but again, only 50% of his life goes down, and the rest of the Burmese Ghouls want to say hi.
And Psycho now being stuck in a rock the hard place. As you can definitely see, Lemon has already gone down, and Psycho makes it out alive, giving the turret away to Burmese Skull. At least this exchange is favorable for the side of BG, as they're hoping to catch even more out of that, but maybe stuck in between the pit is really able to jump over the wall. So RRQ Hoshi, yeah, they're still having very slight leads at the moment.
I mean, they're getting some good pushes here and there across the map, but again, pretty 50-50 overall. The gold, relatively the same, 2 objectives each. The only real difference is that RQ have been able to get a little bit more turtles in comparison to the Burmese Ghouls. And at the end of the day, it does come down to the fight. Ooh, RubyDD forcing out the flicker out of him. This is important because RubyDD, once he scales up and gets into that backline, if he gets a huge flowing blood with that blood ode, he can just start chunking out a lot of these squishier targets.
That's what's interesting about both lineups. They have quite the insurance policy. Both can scale pretty well, but it looks like RQ Hoshi just wants to get there first. And so far, mission accomplished. They're ahead by about 2,000 gold, give or take. But Burmese Ghouls, they're regaining quite a bit of the map. It's looking pretty blue, save for that huge wave coming up top. But right now, maybe cutting the wave from the back to give space for Ace. But right now, Vin and Psycho want to engage.
The rest of the cavalry has arrived. D being stuck by the corner. He's got the flicker away. The rest of RRQ hunting him down. And Burmese Ghouls will have to give up D, and well, so close for Vin, and he survives.
So very close. And I mean, D sacrifices his life just so the rest of the team has first rotation on this turtle. Burmese Ghouls know what they are doing. Great use of the diversion as well. Maybe he just needs to slow them down. They get the turtle, and now, could they go for a pick? No, it's a little too dangerous. They gotta back away.
Oh, look at Albert though. Great position, trying to pick up. Maybe, oh, it's a setup, a big setup. As you can see, they were blown apart, and Albert is down.
We need to see the items. How far is RubyDD in this game?
Oh boy, let's pull it up.
Here we go. He has the Enchanted Talisman, so no problems with mana. That's going to be the Clock of Destiny as well. And if I'm not mistaken, he's building up towards at least some magic lifesteal. But right now, that's going to be... Oh, Ruby DD from the back. R7 is in trouble. That's going to be the Blood Ode pop. D looking for a nice target. That's going to be crossbow tag taken out, kid.
Oh, it's going to be able to take D down low as well.
Ooh,
not much to be left and said. Just look at how they maneuver across the map. Flip Despair on the hands up. Ace as they are looking to shut down the rest of RRQ. But they're still out as well as win. There is a little bit of hope for them to turn this one around. But they still have the buff in hand. And Burmese Gold really picked up the right fight.
2 for 2 here. D and Kid for R7 and Lemon. If you're talking about who's more valuable, I'd give the win here to Burmese Ghouls. You took out 2 cores, 2 side laners that RRQ Hoshi have invested so much in, and all that was lost was D and the support.
Yeah, I would agree on that trade as well. And the Burmese Ghouls honestly just evening out the gold against RRQ Hoshi here, where both sides, it's really going to come down to when the Lord is coming up real soon, and really who is going to be winning these fights. I mean, Burmese Ghouls have been so disciplined with the way they take their fights. They won't go without an advantage.
Small skirmishes over on towards Psycho. You don't want to be on that Akai disposition. The rest of BG, it will be pretty tough to break out of that Hurricane dance. Now, Mounty Shocker reveals the rest of RRQ. A little bit of 1v1 action going on, but you know, Lemon has to back away. This is not where he should push his advantages all the way towards BG side, and there goes Lord on the 9th minute. We can see Wings on the side of D as he gets more beefier.
Yeah, I think real quick, while we're waiting for this first Lord take to happen, a lot of the reasons why players get away with like 1 HP and then just live is because they're so good at juggling defensive item now. It's part of the meta game. And right now, they're jockeying for position. Burmese Ghouls have already started Ace on the Lord.
I'm not too sure if RQ knows about this, and speaking of which, they are already having Psycho being caught in between, and a great wall of defense just to gatekeep the rest of RQ from even marching anywhere close. But R7 is coming within towards the middle side. He's trying to disturb this Lapu Lapu, but you know, not exactly the ones that he's been looking for.
Somebody just has to push up too far. Falling Star Moon on the wave. RRQ want to have full mid control so they can sink their feet really deep in towards this Lord side and start pulling up their trenches so that when Burmese Ghouls do decide to push on through, they can take full advantage of it. But look, top side as well. They're getting a push. Oh, wait!
Maybe getting caught out right now. The Hurricane Dance will push him all the way towards the back. As you can see, D coming in response, trying to hunt out where exactly Albert is. But just look at his health being chunked out away. Maybe will eventually fall to the hands of Lemon. As you can already see, they're focusing on towards Albert instead, putting every resources that they have, and they have managed to shut him down. While BG, they might just be able to close out a few members, but just look at Psycho as well as Lemon. They're dropping real low. Ruby DT, he's putting so much of the hard work, and he might just be able to catch them down. It's a 3-for-2 exchange now in favor of the side of RQ, but they have to back away.
It's Ace and D taken down. It's Kid, Ruby DD surviving 3 for 3 right now, and neither walk away with a free Lord, neither get much movement on the map. It's because these fights are lasting longer than either are comfortable with. And now that's R7 pushing away Kid. He might even get the kill. Oh, he does! He does! R7 does the unthinkable in the face of maybe, and here comes Lemon. Wow, RQ Hoshi's so fast on the takeback.
Unbelievable. He's extending so far up ahead. You did not expect this Esmeralda to be up in your face.
Yeah, they got to push on even further, and R7 once again onto Ruby DD, who's clearing up the waves, and again, Lord is up. Flowing Blood is going to put him into safety, but the rest of the Burmese Ghouls, they're just getting ready to start another fight, and it's still even on both sides.
Psycho jumping right in, zoning out the at the moment. Well, maybe he tries to go in for the face check. Lemon is already getting himself pretty much pinning him off, but just look at R7. He's having that big fat shield, but Ruby DD comes in from the back, hoping to actually get a catch, but maybe he's dropping real low, and this is not looking all too good for Burmese Ghouls. They get caught out, and the Blood O has been popped. He can only last for so long, but just look at the back though. R7 almost takes down Ace.
Tough all across the board. They managed to get the pick with nothing in return, and Burmese Ghouls finally they're slowly losing the lead here, but in terms of gold, not that big of a deal, but they lose a lot of position, especially with that Lord, and the question is, how far ahead is RRQ going to get with this upcoming incoming Lord push.
It's enhanced, by the way. Now R7 caught out here by 4. There's a lot of damage coming onto him. Maybe gets the job done, but at what cost? There is a huge wave coming in from bottom, being taken care of by Lemon. Lord marching up top with enhanced minions, mind you. Oh, I think the Burmese Ghouls need to make the most of the gold they've gotten real quick. Let's check the items onto Ace. That's going to be the Bladed Spear. Endless Battle, I think he's looking for Queen's Wings right after. D has that casual Dreadnought armor. Queen's Wings as well, and the Bloodlust Axe. Oh, I think he needs more damage. D needs a lot more damage here. It's not enough.
Yeah, we definitely see it's pretty evident, and just look at how they need to expend so many resources just to take down R7 has gone to be a huge factor of RQ's current lead. So they should be able to shred this Lord down to less than 50%, but RQ, they're looking to find a pick up, and now Albert is being chunked down. This is not looking all too good, and Blood Oath has been used out there. They've been able to catch out the Brody, and things are not looking any all too well for the side of RRQ. Burmese Ghouls calls in for the small victories.
Oh boy, and just looking at the situation, it's unfortunate. Somebody needs to really take care of Albert to peel a lot of these, backline divers away, especially Ruby DD, who has no problem absorbing the damage because he's just going to heal it back up. So, again, they need to start thinking about getting some heal reduction. And more important to R7, he needs to be able to get a good chunk and be a part of the fight.
Yep, and here we go. 3v1. R7 is just being chased by a crowd. Can Psycho save him? He's going to jump in. Oh, that's going to be Vin joining the fight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is M2 Action game number 4. Here we go. Oh, there's 3 fights happening at the same time.
Yeah, they are dispersing all across the map. Beautiful Hurricane dance, and they might just be able to catch out maybe as he just slides up. And this is so tough to actually pick up. It's still lasting on towards this fight, and they finally found a way to remove this Loyi.
Doesn't feel good, man. You trade Vin for Ace and Kid. That's a bargain. That's something you would never miss out on a good day.
And you still didn't get R7. You threw 3 people at him. He takes 2 of you out, and you trade the other guy. It's like this. You just got scammed.
And the other guy is literally the guy who will want to die anyways.
Yeah, and speaking of which here, Psycho is also pushing them back as well. Maybe it might just be the free pick, but will they invest a lot on towards him because he is dropping really low? But Albert looking to finish things off toward him. And poor, once again, lost out with the crossbow time. Being used up, but Ruby DD coming in with the Blood Oath as well. He will be able to last longer than he should, but R7 a little bit too late to see.
This is too even of a fight. Unfortunately, RRQ only get that 3K gold lead, ever so slightly 3K rounded up. But Burmese Ghouls at 42, I mean, a lot of these fights aren't decided by them. Most of the times, every time they have made a play, RRQ take a really defensive stance, and they are really good at defending the aggression coming in for Burmese Ghouls. And RRQ, the only time they get aggressive is when they get a pick on the Burmese Ghouls.
And that's why the fight seems so orchestrated by RRQ Hoshi. They're the ones who dictate, and there's the ones who say it's over, or you can keep going. And even if they do lose trades, it's actually all right. So here's what I'm wondering. Why can't Kid use diversion as good as Vin did in game number 3? It's interesting because this is what you should do, right? Like, try to bring 1 or 2 folks into the backline and take out Albert, but instead they're just walking into R7 and Psycho.
Yeah, it's of course much more easily executed when you do have a Sylvana. Now they don't really have that. So if you're expanding a lot of all these frontliners all the way up top, it's going to be a catch coming in from RRQ as we will have to hold that compensation. Crossbow tank, as you can definitely see, Kid managing to survive that sort of the aggressive pull from the side of RRQ, but they do get this Lord for free.
Alright, wait, look on top side here. As you can see, D is getting a really good tier 2 push here, and he should be able to take it with no problem.
Oh yeah, but Gideon, are you not taking this as signs of despair, right? Like, there's nothing else they can do on the map. They can't contest Lord. They can't fight RRQ Hoshi front on anymore, so they're just like, okay, we'll take what we can elsewhere and just keep running away. I'm sensing that Burmese Ghouls have chosen to turn the other cheek. They're on the back foot right now. How long will it take before they're back on track to setting the pace? Here we go. Check this out. Wind of Nature onto Ace, as well as an Endless Battle last time we checked. He's looking better now. D just picked up the Ancient That's the ancient Cuirass, I believe.
Yeah,
the
I think they're
anti-Cuirass.
Anti-Cuirass, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
both old. They're both old. So that being said, he's going to be all right against Lemon. He's going to be all right against Albert. But if R7 gets a beat on this Lapu Lapu, it's going to be tough.
Honestly, this Lord push is going to be a make it or break it for the Burmese Ghouls. It's either they defend it and then scale back up, or it's just going to be over.
Last call for a dive coming in with Psycho already hopping out, trying to look for the perfect Hurricane dance. And speaking of which, you can definitely see D trying to go all the way towards the back line. They are all torn apart. And Burmese Ghouls, they have lost 3 members. And with this might just be the reverse sweep commencing from this point onwards, because RRQ Hoshi is bringing it in towards a Game 5.
Oh boy, yeah, I mean, they've learned from their mistakes from M1 itself, and they've become a dominant team to the point where reverse sweeps isn't even in their dictionary. They are able to set the pace, and they won't let the Burmese Ghouls take it away from them, not without a fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go the distance. This is Game 4 taken by RRQ Hoshi. Butters, man, it really came to Lemon's aid, huh?
Lemonade, that's what I'm telling you. It was funny and it made a lot of sense. Now, I'm gonna force that, by the way. Now, coming into game number 4, I know that Burmese Ghouls really looked lost when they went back to this traditional meta setup that we're having. It seems like Lafel was right. RRQ cannot play BG's game, but they figured out what made BG's game run. Now, RRQ is making them play their game, and they can find the groove, they can find the rhythm.
Yeah, I think Burmese Ghouls are just like, especially when they have to play standard against RRQ, this is where the experience kicks in. And I think, you know, when James was making the comments that, like, as long as it goes until the late game, my team is going to be absolutely fine. In RRQ, they've done this multiple times. And considering the number of games they've had, and considering how the MPL Indonesia, a lot of their grand finals, especially when it comes to that best of 7, extend to these lengths, RRQ, this is their kind of play zone.
Yeah, the veterancy and just the experience now showing. Definitely still a comfortable place for RRQ Hoshi. I think they broke a sweat, but that just means it's go time, right? Like, it's, very well done, Burmese Ghouls. Now you've awoken the dragon. That's what it feels like right now after Game 4.
Yeah, definitely facing against this so formidable side of Indonesia. Their stamina is really going to be lasting for a very long time, as we've already seen some of these great plays. But of course, there's a lot more that the analyst wants to say.
As much as I love to talk with you guys about this on camera, we have to throw it back to our analyst, Lafel. Wolf, take it away.
Well, what a game coming out from both Burmese Ghouls and RQ. My goodness, I thought it would go it could go either way. There came a point where it was an objective-taking battle between both these teams, where they were taking parts of the map, mirroring each other. In the end, it was RQ Hoshi who stands strong. My name is Wolf, and I'm with Lafel. Gonna be talking about game number 4 of this best of 5 upper bracket series between RQ Hoshi and Burmese Ghouls. What can you say about that match, very quickly?
So the first thing, Joachim, our host, he asked a very good question during the discourse. What if RRQ forces them going to the late game? And that's what we've been seeing for the last 2 games, where they bring it to the late game, and just like what James, the coach of RRQ, said, if it comes to the late game, we'll win. And it looks like that's the case.
They're the king of kings, but I guess they're the kings of the late game as well. I want to say I completely agree with that, because when I was studying Burmese Ghouls, they were off of them just snowballing. And it's not like an aggressive snowball. Sometimes it's a snowball that you get out of getting all those objectives, getting your timings correctly, which is normally in the early stages. But then again, they were facing up against a team that's more experienced when it comes to this late game strategies. I want to get back to 2 important players for the side of RQ Hoshi, which is R7 and Psycho. I think that their clutch mechanics are so good. They know exactly what to do in the latter stage of the match.
Yeah, right now we are looking at the itemization of both of these teams. So let's look back at R7 with the Esmeralda. Of course, by this point of the game, I feel like most of the teams have most of their core items. For R7 over here with the Calamity Reaper and with the Holy Crystal, as well as the Enchanted Talisman, is enough damage, as well with the Oracle and Brute Force Breastplate, making him able to chase down as well as protect himself. And R7 reminds us again why Esmeralda is always banned.
Yeah, he says Esmeralda plays so good. He understood this this game so well, and even the Esmeralda, masterfully played by Hoshi's R7. Do take note that they went in for defensive items. I think they had like two Athena's shields, and then they paired it up with this wonderful Sea Halberd coming out from Lemon. He actually completed that item so that all the sustain from Burmese Ghouls are perfect. But for Burmese Ghouls side, there's really not much that we can say because they were put in a position wherein they needed to just rid Hoshi of sustain. But then again, they were also dealing with shields. That's probably why there's a lot of true damage sources from the side.
But quickly, look at the stats over here. Just under gold, it's damage. 24,000 damage on the side of Burmese Ghouls and 19,000 damage on the side of Hoshi. This means that Burmese Ghouls, they are playing their own game where they like the damage kind of game. But damage, sometimes it's pretty bad in terms of the late game, because if you don't get the damage onto the right target that you want, then it's going to be very, very difficult. And that is what Esmeralda did. She went through the back line, making sure that everyone is very, very scattered in the team fight, making Burmese Ghouls very, very difficult to position themselves. But right now, let's look at the MVP of the game, and looks like it's gonna go to R7 with the Esmeralda.
A wonderful of display from R7. I think there were many times where Burmese Ghouls tried to go for him. In fact, Burmese Ghouls, if you think about it, they do have the draft to kind of answer this Esmeralda. Loving the Baxia last pick, it really makes a lot of sense. Maybe the weird thing about this is that he went for Execute. But then I thought there's a lot of shielding coming up from Hoshi, so probably the Execute made a lot of sense. However, the way that R7 played this, he made a space for his teammates to just get a farm, and in the latter stages, he didn't get really caught by the side of Burmese Ghouls. Imagine this, Burmese Ghouls had Louis. They should be controlling those maps. The map